Fresh ragu meat. I mean, I hope not. I hope you don't, you know.
This is the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. This week, we take a long, cold ride on Hoth, and we see if our Tauntauns freeze before we reach the first marker. We're also going to talk a little bit about the live stream from BioWare this week. This broadcast astromech is EPC 234. That one. And playing alongside me is Seema. Hi, Seema. How's it going?
That's going pretty well. I mean, we had a crap ton of snow this week. Like, a lot. Like, I would say 18 inches.
That is quite a bit.
So, no spring.
March, you cannot... You get out of February and you think winter's over, and it's not. March is still
definitely
winter.
Not.
That is...
That's right.
Yeah.
March is still winter. Never mind what the calendar says. But yeah, so... But luckily for us, where I am in Maine, it was more of a white, fluffy, plowable snow and not like the horrible, hard, icy, never get rid of icy snow. So that's good. It was fun. Let's see. MFN this week. On the imp side we were, and we went to Explosive Conflict, which it's been a while since we were in there, and yeah, it was fun. We had little to no problem with Toth and Zorn, and then we spent basically the rest of the evening on the two tanks. But
Stop it.
We tried it time after time and got a little bit better each time, and then we downed them, which is kind of one of my favorite things. And there were a couple people there that hadn't ever seen the fight before, and we had someone tanking on Stormcaller that had never done that, and we had someone on the ground that had never done that. So it was a fun night. I enjoyed it. But then we ran out of time. We didn't have time to go and try the minefield boss.
Mm.
And then just now in our ops team, Lords of Light, we just finished up our run. We went and poked around in hard mode Dread Palace. We fought Bestia, who's the first boss in there. And we skipped the trash in the front of the Dread Palace, and we managed to go by it every time we wiped. We never pulled that trash once, I don't think, except for the very end we did pull one guard. But yeah, that I wasn't expecting that to work at all. But anyway, we did get Bestia down after a few tries. It's been a while since we were in there, so we had to like kind of get our Bestia mojo back. And then we went and had a few attempts at Tyrans before we had to quit for the night. Tyrans he's rough.
Yeah,
he's rough.
We sort of forgot how to do it too. We had to remember which tiles we wanted to take away, where we wanted to stand, and then
it was getting better by the end, but yeah, we were having a hard time keeping up on the healing side, so yeah, I told Zen if we go back there that he has to heal and I'm going to wash my hair.
There you go. Yeah, that affliction dot that he tosses out is sort of brutal. 22k ticks of that going out on top of Infernos and tank when like both tanks get the dot, and that's ridiculous.
Yep. And if you don't control him just right, then he'll if he slightly turns, then he can thundering blast the raid, and that's not fun either.
Mm-hmm. But it was still cool to get back in there. We took this week off of doing Gods from the Machine that we've been doing for weeks now, because we know that starting on Tuesday, which we'll talk about in just a second, we're going to have more reasons to be in there. And so we figured we'd take a week off and then go back into it fresh and have fun in there for a little while. I did have fun there. I missed Mandatory Fun Night because I was doing something. Oh, my youngest daughter was turning 16, which is now a little weird because she's now driving around quite a bit. So all of my kids are driving around now. That's quite a thing. But I got back in. I've been in and out of Star Wars all week. I've been paying attention again to transubstantiators and the crafting mats for augments, the higher end augments. and trying to decide what my strategy is going to be to get ready for the next tier of augments, which isn't coming out till May 1st, but will be coming out someday, and trying to figure out if I wanted to bother to upgrade my own personal augments, if I wanted to continue to make augments to sell on the market, or if I wanted to stockpile some materials. So I'm still going back and forth on coming up with a strategy of my own, and I'm going to continue to watch that and watch that market and watch what the prices are of transubs and augments and that kind of thing. Maybe still make a little profit here and there, but maybe stockpile a little bit and get ready for the new set of augments as well. I've been making, I've made buckets and buckets of those augments, and I have not put any of them into my character yet, which I probably should. So maybe I'll go ahead and do that. Although since they're going to have a month and a half here and have a new set of augments, maybe I did the right thing and skipped the right tier.
No, I think you did.
All right.
Greedy Gus.
So that was what I did.
Now an Imperial News Network report.
In the news, speaking of 5859, Isaac's coming and more things coming in May, we did get a clarification on the schedule. And the joke that went along with it was, wow, Keith did manage to turn it into a 3-month roadmap because they slipped the dates. But they only slipped the date for 5.8 by 1 week, and then a couple weeks of slip then for 5.9, which is actually only 1 week for that as well. But 5.8 is now targeted for Tuesday, so by the time you hear this, you may be getting it already if you're listening to the podcast late. And with that, we are getting Isaacs, right? So we're getting Isaacs, we're getting Conquest updates. We are not getting the new tier of augments yet, but we're going to be in this in-between period where from March 20th until 5.9, which is May 1st, they're having the challenge where if you can get veteran mode Isaacs down within that time frame, you get a little bit of extra rewards and bonus, and you're elite and cool. You can,
and you'll totally deserve it.
Yes, it is going to be Vetmare mode, basically. It's going to be a very hard veteran mode, equivalent probably to what you would expect out of a nightmare mode. Then by 5.9, which will come, and they've confirmed or at least announced at this point, will be Tuesday, May 1st. Then we'll get a couple other things, including the new tier of augments. So if you do not get Isaacs down by 5.9, you'll have a little bit of a power boost if you slot all of those new augments, although I expect them to be a little bit rare to start. You will be able to run the flashpoint that comes with 5.9 to get some of those augments. You'll also have to be running the flashpoint to get the schematics for those augments. So there's going to be a little bit of a down period where people are going to need to do some work to get those, and then I expect the market will adjust and it'll be another tier of augments as we have, and we'll all start making profit off of them and selling them for a while and then putting them in our gear. What else happened this week, Seema?
So actually, this week we had a live stream. It had on there Charles Boyd, Eric Musco, and Matt Pusevich, who's a operations developer. So it was interesting to have Matt on there, and so I've watched it a couple of times. I ran it while I was doing other things to just kind of review it. They covered briefly the change in UI to the Conquest system, and they showed a couple of screenshots. They talked about Ashara and Vector coming back, Ashara being just for Inquisitors and Vector being just for agents. They gave some of the background, like story type background and development thinking background on Isaacs, which is pretty interesting. And then they showed a little bit of gameplay, and then they turned it over to SWTOR Central to do some actual operations running. They hosted his stream.
It was SWTOR Central and Kid Lee guested.
Yeah,
as well?
You're right,
I
and Kid Lee.
So. Yeah, so that's fun. Then the way Eric described it is that was sort of the main target, and it was a quick stream. But I agree, it was interesting to see Matt, and if you have been on the PTS at all, you may have experienced or bumped up against Matt. He is the developer that has been watching what's going on the PTS because he's been developing the operation. and he's been in and out, and you've been potentially able to see him saying hi in general chat, and in our case, watching our test group do a little bit of wiping here and there in hilarious ways. I'm sure he's gathering quite awesome data based on that, but about how bad we are, if nothing else. I don't know.
Matt said that in veteran mode, he has 1.4 million health points. And someone in chat asked, how can a boss have 1.4 million health points? And he said, well, he does have a 58-minute enrage timer.
Which was a troll.
Which I totally was, but I was like, wow, he does? I'm like, wow.
Yeah,
but yeah,
104
total troll.
million, Galahard is saying, but yeah.
Yeah, 104 million. Thank you.
It was a highlight to see Isaacs on the screen. I think it's a really cool design of that bot, and you see it. You got a little bit of a glimpse when they showed the cutscene where Isaacs comes flying in, and he looks like some sort of crustacean sort of creature flying when he's flying through the air, and then he looks sort of reptilian when he's clamped onto the side of the platform where you're fighting him, and he's really, really big, probably the biggest boss that we've had in the game to date. So that was a highlight. Other than that, as you said, it wasn't all that much that they talked about there. They did talk about a couple companions that coming back though, right? Which companions are teed up for this next round?
Ashara.
Ashara.
Who we just finished capturing Ashara on ourselves.
We did in our Ashara trap. She's around
Vector.
here somewhere. I was just poking her on my ship. And Vector, the Bugman. Vector is pretty interesting. You're a big fan of Vector.
I was surprised.
Though, right?
I like Vector. I was surprised to hear them say that Vector was popular because I did not know that. I thought most people just thought he was too weird.
Yeah, no, I always kind of liked him. But you even had him as a romance companion on.
Yeah, my agent, and he's my agent's hubby.
So if you liked him enough for that, him and his bug hive mind, then I guess that's pretty cool.
They're very philosophical, which I like.
Yeah, he's pretty chill. He's got a good. He's cool looking. Always liked sort of his weapon. I liked his story. I like the bug. I like the Killix and that whole concept and the hive mind, and so yeah. So I'm fine with having him back. And then Ashara.
Yeah, see
is always
the Killix, because of the hive mind, they're just like a really super efficient ops team. They always know what they're doing.
That's right. They would be, they would probably do well.
So that's my fantasy.
They would be well coordinated. That's your fantasy, because
yeah.
Instead of the scrubs you got to run with every Thursday, criminy.
No.
I see
that is not
you're
what
saying.
I meant at all.
I get where you're coming from there.
I just meant that we don't always know what the other one's doing. That's what I meant.
Saying I'm terrible. I'm gonna cry myself to sleep on my huge pillow.
On your wee big pillow.
Big pillow. So that is interesting. We are looking forward to Isaac's coming on Tuesday, 5.8, 5.9. At least we've got a couple things that we're looking forward to. Hopefully by May the 4th, May the 4th be with you, we'll get a viewpoint of what else is coming in the year. I would love to have an actual roadmap that takes us through the rest of the year. That would be great to see. And I think May the 4th would be a good time to do that. Hopefully we'll get at least some, I would imagine we're going to get some sort of preview about what's coming after by May the 4th, I would hope. And we can all look forward to that. Guild and community news. I think it was interesting that we had SWTOR Central and Kid Lee on that stream. BioWare has been trying to do more of that promoting of the streams and hosting of things and pointing out interesting influencer content and content otherwise. So hopefully they continue to do that. How's the old guild there doing, Seema? Alea Iacta?
Next week, MFN is going to be on the pub side. So
excellent.
Just saying. March 20th, pub side, be there. Or don't be there, but if you're there, be there.
It's not mandatory. Attendance is not mandatory. But if you come,
Right.
the fun is. And we will make it fun. So yeah.
You will have fun.
Every third week we do a Republic side, and then we do 2 Imperial weeks, and then we do a Republic week, because that's sort of the balance of where we all have characters and the amount of time we spend. It's about 2/3 of our guild is focused on Imperial side and on a given week, and another third is focused on Republic side. Some people are 100% focused on Republic, and some people are 100% focused on Imperial, but it's always sort of broke down that way, so that's why we've divided it up that way. We all have
Although I
characters
will
on both
say, the
sides.
last few times we've done on pub side, we've always had at least 16 people.
True. We all have Imperial, we all have Republic characters. And
Right.
we were our ops team, part of the guild back in the day when we launched, was very Republic for a long time.
Right, we were.
We were.
Then Makia forced us to change.
And we cried and became
On our
all-
wee big pillows.
when we had to become Imperials. But then I went Bounty Hunter, and I liked that. But my Trooper, yep, that was always a fun character. My Vanguard back in the day. So yeah, that's it. If you're interested in checking out AIE, you can certainly look us up on aie-guild.org. We'll give you some more notes on that at the end of the podcast as well, but look us up. We are also having fun in lots of other games as well. We're one of those giant multi-game communities. I think there's, and I've even been looking a little bit at Elder Scrolls Online lately. But we're really big in WoW, and I know Seema does a little bit of helping the leadership there. But yeah, we're
Tiny bit.
solid SWTOR guild, and always have been since before launch. We had the guild organized, so come and check us out. And shout out to the chat room. Thanks everyone in the chat room. We are having fun seeing you guys in there. I know we're sort of shaking it up each week. We're trying for Tuesdays, but if not, it's usually Thursday, and we've sort of been going back and forth each week lately between Tuesday and Thursday, depending on what's going on. Unfortunately, just with the way things are going lately, I think that may continue. We sort of have to roll the dice every week and see where it lands. But it's still working out. I like doing it either of those days, and I sometimes like switching it up and doing it different days during the week. So check for us on Tuesday. If not, we're going to be on Thursdays. And thank you to the chat room. I will catch all of you after the show. And now, hey, who of my companions can tell me what we're going to do next in our story? Wow. Thank you, Brunmark, whose home is Hoth. Yes, we're going to be going to Hoth, from what I understand. But Seema told me, because she's had a little bit of a preview, that I first should be checking in on my ship's intercom, because there's strange things afoot to some degree, or something. Is that what I'm supposed to be keeping an eye on?
Yeah. Go. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
here I go.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk
Do it.
down to
Do
my
it.
intercom.
Go. 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 Go.
This is really futuristic when I have to like walk all the way to another room and press the button to be able to talk on the intercom.
Right. Yes. That's right.
Doesn't make sense.
You should be able to
at
just
all,
tap your
but
chest.
Yes. Make it so, number one. All right. Intercom says,
I trust our friend Harkin is doing well. If
Zash.
your business is finished on Korriban, it's time we looked for another spirit to bind.
Zash talking out of Kemval's mouth still. Somebody look for another spirit to bind. You mean Hoth. Do we need another ghost? You have my attention. You have my attention. Now you have my interest.
Tell me about this ghost.
We think what Andronicus has heard is true. A Republic transport crashed over Hoth about a year ago. It was carrying artifacts from a Sith tomb that the Jedi had confiscated.
Confiscated is the perfect euphemism, isn't it?
A Sith is in no place to judge. The Jedi never recovered the transport. I don't
push
like
me,
the idea
Shara.
of binding the dead like this, but if you have to, I'd start looking for that transport.
We have to make Ashara a little bit darker, I think. Okay, so there's that. Now we travel to Hoth, and then something else probably happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
So travel to Hoth, and this is one of those. See, I'm lost on my own ship.
See, they want you. They just want your 1,000 credits.
They do.
That's how they get you.
Dang it! I was gonna buy a roti and mayo sandwich with those credits.
It's always the last door you try, huh?
Yeah, I'm running all around. Hoth. One of my favorite planets, which I've said about every planet, but this is top 3. This is in my top 3 of favorite planets.
You didn't say it
Not
about
top
Quesh.
2. I did not. I said Quesh was the worst planet, didn't I? So there you go. Traveling to Hoth for 1,000 credits. And now I get to use my ship's intercom again. Criminy. Here I am, running around. I should ARP you
I think
off.
you should get Andronicus to install one in.
I hope you found some more information on
On
this
the
ghost
bridge.
business, Andronicus.
Look, I've been doing some digging around, and by all accounts, this stuff is more messed up than Tatooine. Pirates run this place, though the Empire and the Republic have dared to move in of late. Still, ships don't land here. The cold is part of it, but there are other rumors. The kind you'd ignore if you had sense.
Okay, so when I was typing here on the side, Andronicos, right? That voice, Stephen J. Bloom is the voice actor who has done the voice of Andronicos. He also, I mentioned ESO, he also did a ton of the voice work for Elder Scrolls Online. So I keep hearing when I've been trying out Elder Scrolls Online, I keep hearing Andronicos, and I keep looking around for Andronicos.
It's disturbing.
So what did he say? The cold is part of it, but there's other rumors, the kind you'd ignore if you had sense. I abandoned sense long ago. Yes.
There's nothing sensible about looking for a ghost in a frozen wasteland.
Yeah, I guess if I wanted sense, I should have stuck with killing and stealing. There was a light freighter out of Yavin 4, the Star Runner, disappeared over this place. Reported some strange happenings before it did. It was a smuggler vessel loaded full of ancient junk from Yavin's tombs. If I wanted to catch a ghost, I'd start asking after that ship.
So now this looks like, and we don't know really why, but you have to pick a particular companion. And Andronicos or Ashara or Kemval. Huh. Who did you pick? Who are you bringing?
I picked Kimball.
You picked Kemval? As long as it's not Zash, Kemval and Zash. I feel like I should pick then with the Zash voice. I feel like I should pick Ashara. I think I need to work on Ashara and get her a little more dark
Make sure
side.
she's not backsliding back into goodness.
Yes. Yeah, I think I'm gonna...
This looks like an excellent opportunity to continue your training, Ashara.
Exactly what I was
I'm ready,
thinking.
Master.
Hollow Chatter says the Empire's operating in this ice block, so you might try using your new Lord of the Sith authority. Careful, though. Place is crawling with pirates, and they aren't all as nice as me.
Yeah, that's Stephen J. Blum. Stephen J. Blum is... Oh, look.
Andronicus is a love interest too, by the way.
Really? He's sort of that bad scoundrel. You need a little scoundrel.
Yeah,
in
the
your
bad
life.
boy. Yeah.
There. Okay. So now I can get out of the ship. Bring... I'm lost again. What the hell? Now I can get out of the ship and bring Ashara with me and talk to Sergeant Lauren and kick things off. And again, we're only going to be doing the class story and not the planetary story, but there's a lot going on Hoth. If you do not have a Tauntaun mount, if you have not gotten a Tauntaun mount in any other way, this was added late in the game, probably still a couple of years ago, but there's a sort of little side mission quest to get yourself a free Tauntaun mount if you run around and gather data from the little Tauntaun nests around the planet. Get enough of those data tokens, and you can buy yourself a free Tauntaun mount, which is pretty cool. There are other Tauntaun mounts you can get sort of for free, you know, get gameplay-wise as well, though. We were doing Dread Palace today, and if you drew Oricon and then Dread Fortress and then Dread Palace and complete them, there is an Assault Tauntaun. That's a reward for doing that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, Zen makes a good point in the chat room. You don't have to ever learn how to get around in your ship, because you can just use the activity pane to get down to the planet surface.
No, you have to physically walk around. In fact, I'm going to start actively walking Zen and not reading codex entries. Why do I have all these name tags turned on? Look, I've got all the friendly character name tags. This place is riddled with friendly characters. What is this? Is this a lore object? A Chiss lore object sitting right here, Zen. What do you think of that? I'm going to click it, and then I'm going to close the window as fast as I can. Alright, here. Open. Codex entry, species, Chiss. So I was laughing a little bit during the intro because I was using a Casey Kasem voice. Probably a lot of people don't know who Casey Kasem is, but used to do radio top 40, and I was using that voice. So here, I will read, for you Zen, I will read the codex entry for the Chiss in Casey Kasem voice. The Chiss are a proud and highly intelligent species, valuing, and I think I lost my Casey Kasem voice. You hear that?
Where did it go?
Valuing a knack for strategy and a centrifuge over brute force. Although isolated in the unknown regions of the galaxy with their so-called Chiss ascendancy, the Chiss are singled out by the Empire as a potential servants and allies because of their outsider status and their relative lack of moral qualms. It is not that the Chiss are by nature evil, but that they value pragmatism and efficiency and recognize both those qualities reflected in the Empire. While as a non-human, non-Sith species, Chiss are regarded as second-class citizens within the Empire, the Chiss ascendancy is permitted. Self-governance and supporters of a more diverse empire often use the Chiss as an example of what the Empire can accomplish by welcoming other species. A few rare Chiss have even achieved official rank in the Imperial military and Imperial intelligence. There you go. Yes, Chiss lives matter. Thank you, Captain Peters. There you go, Zen. That was for you. Now you gotta come heal
Tyrants.
Tyrants for Seema. These elevators on Hoth were always annoying, and on the Republic side, you don't have to deal with these big elevators getting out of the Imperial base. So right here, as you come up out of the Imperial base,
just one look out here, and I've already had enough.
This is where the Tauntaun trainer is, which can tell you about
See anything you like?
how to get the Tauntaun. I think there's even a quest, a mission you pick up here if you haven't done it before.
Come again?
I think. And then you can get these Tauntaun lures. In fact, I'll pick up a couple while we're here, just in case we come across it. You can also just buy with credits the Tauntaun domestication data. If you get 20 of those, then you can see here you get the mountain Tauntaun as a mount. What is the subscriber vendor? Oh, if you're a subscriber, you only have to pay. Oh, it's a second mount for 15 of the old Tauntaun domestication data tokens. Max, sell junk. Why is that bothering you? My hoarding of all of these pieces of junk. I can't just click the sell junk button though, because then I'll lose my lucky coins. Nope, I'm keeping it all.
Come back anytime.
Do I have in my collect? Hey, Seema Zing, that is a fancy mount. Which one is that? Do I have one of those? Is that the new one? The Chiss Talon
Yep, it's the Chiss Talon Interceptor.
Nice. That is pretty cool looking, isn't it? It looks almost Manon-ish. If you know what a Manine. Do I have a... I like to use planet-appropriate mounts when I'm on the planet. Do I have any Tauntauns? Let's look it up. I have a Tauntaun, mini Tauntaun pet. None of these are, why are none of these unlocked? A festive Tauntaun, special operations Tauntaun, cannot be reclaimed, but why can't I unlock some of these? I have some of these, once this item is collected, you may transfer copies of it to your inventory. Well, collect it. Unlock it, unlock it. Why can I not unlock these? Did I not? I don't know. I think I'm... Apparently I don't have these... I've got these unlocked on some characters. I don't have a Tauntaun to ride. Oh well. I will stick to whatever random mount this is. It's a Sleen. Alright. Enough of that. Where do we gotta go? Wow, we're going all the way over to the Frostwake Outpost Command Center? Or is that you? Where do I have to go? Where's Sergeant... Oh, did I miss Is Sergeant downstairs? Sergeant Lauren downstairs? It is. Oh.
Yeah, there's a conversation downstairs.
Why didn't you stop me? I'm
Oh,
chattering
because
along,
I
being ridiculous.
wasn't listening, and I thought maybe you
I wouldn't
talked to him
either.
already.
Don't worry about it. This... Why do I not have a Tauntaun? I'm gonna have to check that out. I have an Ice Tromper. I can ride an Ice Tromper. That's somewhat planet appropriate. Although it's not season appropriate.
I have the other glacial ice tromper. Let me pull that up.
Oh, this Ice Tromper is smooth. It's a smooth ride. He doesn't clomp around. Look, he just sort of glides along on his tromper paws. Okay, here we go. Sergeant Lauren. Hello, Sergeant Lauren. What you got to say?
I'm looking for a ship called the Star Runner.
My lord, truly an honor and a surprise. I'm afraid no ships have landed on Hoth in ages, unless it's a crash. Actually, the name Star Runner sounds familiar. If I may ask, what do you need the ship for? You're here on Darth Thanoson's behalf, naturally.
None of your business, buddy.
That's not yours to know.
Of course, my lord. It was rude of me to ask.
Yes, it was.
Star Runner. Blast.
Blast.
The ship crashed years ago. It's buried under a few tons of snow by now. Your best bet? No. Give me a few months to get a recovery team on it.
So all the Imperials have a British accent for whatever reason in the Star Wars universe. And when they spelled tons of snow, they spelled
Yeah,
T-O-N-N-E.
I noticed
Did
that
you
too.
notice that?
Right.
As long as I get the ship, I'm happy.
Of course. Perhaps a few months isn't satisfactory for Darth Thanaton. I hesitate to suggest it, but we do have a fully equipped reclamation service team in the field already. It's just the lieutenant in charge is a little odd. Too much time digging in tombs, you understand.
Ding, ding, ding. Who
I
is
only
this
care that
person?
he can find the ship.
Lieutenant Talos Drellick could find a piece of glass in the Tatooine desert, but he's very particular about his work. I'm afraid I can't call Lieutenant Drellick. The weather on Hoth is bad for communications. The team's way out in the way searching for some mythical Sith temple on Hoth of all places. Good luck, my lord.
Talos?
This is how every questline starts on Hoth. We can't communicate with them because it's cold. So you have to go and ride there.
Did you not realize that was the case before you decided to make a base here and couldn't figure out some way to talk to anyone anywhere? Yeah, again, somewhat of Star Wars technology in some
Well,
cases.
sometimes you have to go and fix the communication, but it's still you have to go there.
They don't have satellites? Just bounce it off a satellite? Little fiber optics cables? Try to lay some cables? Radio waves, well, radio waves really do slow down a lot when it gets cold, so I could see that being a problem. Not. All right, now we get to go chase down. So as you heard, we're going to talk to Talos Drellic. So Talos is a character that we've all encountered, and spoiler, he's going to be a companion that we can get here off of this planet. I'm taking a little detour. I think right here is one of the first little nests. No, I don't see it. There was a nest right here. One of those little tauntaun nests.
There's an oily ice tromper.
Giant ice tromper? An oily ice tromper. That's weird. And a woolly ice tromper. And another oily ice tromper. Huh. So there's a series of those nests around those tauntaun nests, and you feed the lure. You use the lure on the nest, and the little tauntlets come out. And then if the wampa comes and you kill it, that's when you get the domestication data.
I thought you were going to say if the wampa comes and sees his shadow, you have 6 more weeks of winter.
On Hoth, you have 6 more eons of winter. Winter is coming. This is also the place.
Spring is not.
Back in vanilla, back in original launch SWTOR. This is about the time that you would be close to getting speeder.
Yeah,
rank 2.
speeder. Yeah.
And you'd want to upgrade to rank 2 before you got to Hoth, because it is a long way between. I think this is probably the biggest planet in terms of map real estate, and
yeah. I remember just running around here.
And distances you need to travel. So if you were on a slow mount, it did seem to take quite a long time. We've done a podcast in the past. There's a secret pet that you can get off of Hoth as well, and that's what the ice jerky. What's the jerky called? It's called Max. He's jerky. No. What's the ice jerky? Ice scrabbler jerky.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question, because I'm like thinking, well, what's the ice jerky called? It's called ice jerky.
Ice scrabbler jerky. You use the ice scrabbler jerky in a special place on Hoth, and you can lure a special little pet that you can get.
Yeah.
Look at these tauntauns. Hello, tauntaun. And what's the temperature on the inside of a tauntaun? Come on, don't leave me hanging.
I'm okay. I'm not saying it.
Lukewarm.
I'm expecting.
Lukewarm.
I'm expecting the chat room to chime in.
Chat room. What's the temperature on the inside of a tauntaun? Lukewarm. Everybody.
It's lukewarm. It's lukewarm. Say it. I think so too, Zan. At least 15 minutes.
A 15-minute taxi ride to get to the heroic area from the base on Hoth.
Time enough to make coffee and empty the dishwasher.
Here we go, Lieutenant Talos Drellic. Hello, Talos. And what were you saying? This guy is his strength is his nerdiness.
I love him because he's just so beautifully nerdy, and he's like totally unaware that other people around him don't share his interests, and his nerdiness is his strength and his power.
Mm-hmm.
We're close, boys. We'll find that temple. I can feel it. Rogers, No cutting corners. Don't forget the salt. Salt's not the best solution, but it's the only thing that doesn't freeze out here, and solid footing is a must.
I'm looking for Lieutenant Talos Drellick of the Imperial Reclamation Service.
My lord, I am honored.
Good.
I heard you single-handedly unearthed artifacts of the great Tulak Horde. I'm a Naga Sadar man myself, but I'd love to compare notes. What brings you to Hoth, and how may I be of service?
You can help me find a ship.
I'm taking over this team in order to locate a ship called the Star Runner.
A ship. Not usually our line, but let's hear it. Maybe we can help.
It is well voiced, you're right.
A bit new
Star
for
Saber.
the Reclamation Service, but artifacts. And a ghost. I've heard that the dead talk down in the tombs, but to see one, oh. I wonder if it'd be possible to make a hollow image.
I've heard that the dead talk down in the tombs, but to see one. Yeah, this is really good voice. It may be possible. I'm going to be nice to
it
him.
would depend on the light.
Yes. Darker would be better.
Depend on the
Engineer
light.
Sorrel, do we have any probes that aren't frozen solid?
SWTOR works as good as any in these conditions, sir. She may not look like much, but she's got heart.
If my guess is correct, the captain would have launched a
What
distress
did he
beacon
say?
before the crash, which would give us a line on the ship.
Did he call his probe Shalora?
Yeah. Yeah.
He named the probe?
He named his probe.
Trust me, I'll take care of it.
Excellent. I've triangulated out a rough area where I think the beacon would have landed. My boys and I are going to shift camp, try to get a better communication setup going. But let us know if you find anything.
All right, great. So we get to take the first. You get to take Shalora probe, the Shalora probe droid. Oh, we get the probe droid to hunt down this ship. So let's do a little of that. And while we do that, you saw on the video in the live stream Isaac's, a little bit of what Isaac's looks like, a little bit of a cutscene and a little bit of some screenshots there that they staged of them facing Isaac's. What do you think of Isaac's first glance, Seema? Which is actually not your first glance, but
Well, I think, well, my take on Isaac's is it's going to be content for us for quite a while. I mean, I think there's like 4 or 5 phases, and we are just starting to figure out phase 2, so.
that's a positive way to phrase it. It's gonna be content that's gonna keep us occupied for quite a while.
Yeah, we won't run out of ops content for a while because of Isaac.
It is interesting. It is interesting that they're making it extra hard. I thought it was interesting how Matt described it during the live stream, and he sort of said that all of Gods of the Machine is pretty complicated in terms of mechanics and pretty difficult. Right. And as he's thinking, at least as he's thinking about future ops, and we expect there will be future ops, but as he's thinking about it, he seems to think that having this complicated and this difficult of an operation is interesting and good to do once in a while, but it sounds like they may revert back to designing a more traditional approach to operations for next round, which I would expect would mean there'd at least be a couple fights in there that would be more tank and spank, DPS a thing. I think I'm right here. I think I have to use the probe droid right here.
I mean, I don't think it needs to go all the way back to tank and spank. I think it's going to be less layers upon layers of mechanics.
Well, like
and
Grob Thok has got a couple side mechanics. You got to drag them around, like in story mode. You drag them around a little bit, you put them under the magnet for the pipe, and then the Ugnaughts come out and you drag them through the fire. Besides that, it's pretty tank and spank. So you get a couple solid, a couple interesting mechanics. Still a very interesting looking fight, but relatively simple compared to the complexity of the fights in Gods of the Machine.
But I would say the same thing about Draxus. It's a lot of waves, and each wave has its own thing that, you know, an ops team has to do. So it's still enough going on to be fun. I didn't think it didn't worry me that we were going to get just a bunch of, you know, patchwork type bosses over and over.
Right.
But they don't have to be this level of involved, I guess.
Yeah, this level of involvement. And did I hear Matt refer to it, Isaacs, as the pug killer? Which is potentially interesting as well.
I mean, I don't think he said it's the pug killer. He said some features of it are pug killerish.
Yeah.
Which is completely different. That's completely different.
We'll see. I expect, as he's describing it and he's seeing people do it for the first time and try some things out, it's probably at that stage of first time through, things are going to be difficult. And if you're going to be trying to figure it out, it's going to be difficult. Once we all have videos on YouTube that show everybody exactly where they're supposed to stand and exactly what they're supposed to do, then I think, I think these fights will start to become much more understandable.
Yes, I think so too.
I think I'm.
You know, even without YouTube videos, if it was just a list of abilities and what they do and how you defend against them or overtake them,
right,
that'll go a long way.
Right, exactly. And one more of my Sheila, the probe droid, has to. Shelley, what's her name?
I like how when you tell Talos that you're going to take over his team, he doesn't go, "What? What do you mean?" and blah, 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 blah. He just goes, "Ooh, Ghost. Yeah, that sounds cool."
Again, Talos is, Talos is cool. Alright. Shalora. Shadubi Shalora. Lockdown signal. Recover the distress beacon. Can do.
Yeah, he did say that about all. He wasn't talking just about Isaacs. He was talking about all of
the whole
Gods from the Machine. Is just sort of. There are features that are rough on a pug.
Yes.
And then I agree with. I think I agree with Zen now. I mean, at this point in my life, he says that he's happy with operations that, you know, he's just happy with new visuals, a couple of new mechanics, and a bit of story. I think me too.
Yeah. All right, we are here at this crashed little shuttle. We have to recover the beacon. Do you see a beacon? Is it around here somewhere?
Yeah, this thing right here is it.
What is? Oh, this little red flashing light.
Yeah.
No, it couldn't be. It couldn't be the. It couldn't be that. All right, here I am. Cutscene. I'm activating the beacon.
This is Captain Quellen of the Star Runner. SOS. I repeat, SOS. We're caught in Hoth's gravitational pull and falling fast. Strange events date back 2 weeks. Yavin 4 artifacts believed to be the source. Something has taken control of the ship. To whomever finds this message, burn this vessel. Don't look inside. Don't touch it. Burn it. Lieutenant Drellick really is something else. Could find a wampa hair in a snowdrift, I bet.
But where's the ship?
It still doesn't tell me where the ship is.
No, but we have a bearing from the beacon launch. And those tracks. Somebody beat us to this thing. Lieutenant, sir. We found the beacon, but no ship. There's some light tracks, though. Appear to be a few days old.
Have Shalora zoom in, Sorrel. I've been studying alien tracks since I was old enough to know a Twi'lek from a Toccata. Ortolan. I'd know them if they were 6 days old and covered in jam. Those are Ortolan tracks.
Ortolan?
What's an Ortolan?
A cold-weather type of alien who made their homes on Hoth. Usually peaceful, until recently. It looks like those Ortolans dug something up. Possibly a clue to the ship's location. Sorrel, Where's the nearest Ortolan camp?
It's a ways beyond the next outpost, but the tracks look headed in the right direction.
Well, might be time to put on your best diplomatic face, my lord. Ortolans don't like outsiders much, but it looks like they're the key to finding our ghost.
This is becoming tedious. Give me something to force choke.
This chase better give results, or I'll have your skin for a cloak.
Never so much as a pottery shard has escaped me, my lord.
He doesn't mind being threatened, even.
I'll have Sorrel bring the beacon to the base. Between it and the Ortolans, we're bound to have a breakthrough. We'll be there when you're through dealing with the Ortolans.
Okay. Ortolans. Tell me about Ortolans, Seymour. Are you an Ortolan fan?
They're adorable.
I always remember you being an Ortolan fan.
Yes, I used to say how I wanted them to be a playable race.
That would be hilarious, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be. It would be.
I thought I had. We will get to find, but I thought I had some Ortolan sound effects at some point. Let me see here. And that's from Peej. Peej, the evil Ortolan who you go up against in the Shroud storyline. Remember that guy?
I mean, one of the things they said a long time ago is that it's really difficult to conceptualize a playable race if they don't speak basic.
Yes. Because how are you going to do you're going to have to subtitle all the story stuff, and it'd probably be a little annoying over time. Hey, one other thing I remembered about Hoth is the Magenta Crystal mission line takes you to Hoth.
Yes. Yes, it does.
We did a podcast on that as well. So back when it was difficult to get crystals, and the Magenta Crystal was something both interesting visually and interesting from a stats perspective.
Yeah.
We all used to do that
now,
quest line.
Yeah, and it was wasn't it a plus 31 crystal though? So it's
yeah, it was good at the time.
Not in demand.
But now it's not. No, it's not that great. Is there a Tauntaun nest around here? See a wampa? Nope. But back in the day, it was good, and the quest line was good and took you from planet to planet. You had to go to 3 different planets. You start on Tatooine, and you get a cup of water from one of the moisture evaporators. Oh, here we're killing Ortolans. What do you think of that, Seema? I wonder if you can do it without killing the Ortolans. Look, there's a little Ortolan, all dead. He looks delicious.
Oh my god. And the sound they make too. Oh.
They're little elephant people. Yeah. The Magenta Crystal starts on Tatooine at the moisture evaporator. You gotta find one of them that's got the little vent on it where you can collect some of the moisture. And then that puts a buff on you, and then you go to Hoth with that buff, and you go to the top of the tallest peak on Hoth, and it freezes it, and it turns it into a frozen crystal. And then you take that to Ilum, and you have to fight a Force Ghost on Ilum to advance that mission line for the Magenta Crystal. I recommend doing it at some point, just because it's cool, and it was interesting back in the day. Alright, here's the Ortolan Chief, and we killed a bunch of his Ortolan warriors. Let's see what he has to say for himself. He looks pretty serious. Little elephant boy.
I'm looking for the remains of a ship called the Star Runner, which you took from the distress beacon site.
All right. I don't need to let them do all of the talking because nobody understands what they're saying. I'm reading the subtitles and just not explaining them. That's really useful. So this little Ortolan is now glowing blue and he's got red eyes. So obviously something is up. They're saying things like, well, maybe we should just fight you or kick you out. Hound him through the snow until he squeals. You will do no such thing. The master speaks. I am Horak Mul, the right hand of Ludo Kresh, the true dark lord of the Sith, or what's left of him. So this little Ortolan, Captain Ortolan, seems to be possessed.
Yes.
It is truly an honor.
No, that's not what I meant to say. Abort, whatever.
Abort.
I almost aborted the conversation. I clicked the wrong thing.
It's not an honor.
No offense,
Gosh.
but Master, why can't you Sith just become one with the Force when you die?
I will not be bound, so he knows that I'm trying to bind him. You think you scare me? I'm just gonna.
If you'd rather speak through these idiots for eternity, be my guest.
You think you're more worthy than these animals? It took 5 of Nagasado's assassins to kill me. Not 1, but 5. I hold my freedom dear, Sith. If you wish to bind me, it will take more than words. There's always something.
I wonder if Jedi
Yes, there
have
is.
as much trouble getting what they want.
Buried deep in the snows of Hoth, you will find the ruins of an ancient Sith temple. The temple was both training ground and burial site for Nagasado's personal order of assassins, the assassins who murdered me. Become my instrument of revenge, and I will consider divulging my location and sharing my strength. Get the Ortolans to do it.
Why not have these creatures do it for you?
Yada, yada, yada. The temple's lined with complicated traps, and these animals have no talent for thinking. I hope you're different, but I won't warn you. Desecrate the temple, destroy every relic, every bone, every ornate bauble, then we may talk again. They're pretty hilarious, aren't they?
They are.
The master is
in their little overalls.
The master has spoken. Leave us, Outlander. All right. Okay. I think we're done for today. We will save next week for desecrating the temple and binding this next Force Ghost and sucking it out of the skull of this little Ortolan and seeing how many Ortolan husks we can leave in our wake, which will make Seema really happy. But I think for now, we can be done. We will put in our request and maybe tag it on this little astromech that we're going to kick out into space. The request the developers to make Ortolans a playable race. Good luck with that, Seema.
Right.
But for now, we can be done and kick this EPC 234 droid out into space to broadcast this episode to all of you. Please keep up with us on Twitter at MaxTheGray and at AIESEMA. And if you know anybody that should be playing Star Wars The Old Republic with Alea Iacta Est, send them our way. Tell them to check out the podcast. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube and Twitch. Check us out on AIE-guild.org. And certainly come to our server, Starforge, and look us up, and we will get you an invite to AIE, and you can come play with us. And we will talk to all of you later.
Later, everyone.